Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda forever!
How do you do, J-Pop crew? It's your Nutty Buddy Putty here, and I just got back from watching Wakanda Forever, Black Panther. And all I have to say is, the MCU is back. The MCU is officially back. I feel Wakanda Forever may be what we need in the MCU to revitalize things. Your emotions are going to go crazy, guys. I'm going to be very honest with you. Emotions are headstrong when it comes to this movie. So for those unfamiliar, this actually is going to be the last movie in the Phase 4 MCU. And then the new Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, will start Phase 5. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, there's no Avengers. Well, that's because this has that tone a little bit, introducing new characters. And so it does kind of have a little bit of an Avengers feel, even though it's definitely smaller and you know, in standards or situation as far as that. But the story, oh man, this is what the stories of the MCU would do. It would pull your emotions, whether it be laughing, crying, excited, anger. Like, it's really good when your emotions get the best of you and pull you in different ways to where you don't even realize it went that long. I'm recording right now at 10 o'clock at night. My movie started at 6:10, and I didn't get out of the movies until like 20 after 9 or like a little after 9. So yeah, it's still a decent sized movie, close to 3 hours, I would say. And it's, you know, I've seen movies that are less time than this that just don't get it. Wow, this movie just understands not just the source material, but how to take care of something so special. As you saw in the beginning of my video with the intro, I dedicated this to Chadwick Boseman. You already know that they're going to talk about it. How it's addressed, I'm going to let you be surprised about it. But man, it's a good taking. And, you know, a lot of times I'm like, just replace it. Find an actor that can do that part. And there's sometimes you just can't replace people. Prime example, Tony Stark as Iron Man. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And, of course, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, a.k.a. T'Challa. And things like this movie, I feel, understand that. But I'll be honest with you. I don't want to just sit in the review section, the spoiler-free section, and not get time to talk about some of the characters and everything. I'm going to say this right now. The acting, bar none, is the best in a lot of the MCU movies. I don't know the name of the actor that plays Namor, but does a phenomenal job. We do see some other characters that will end up showing up later on as well. And so those will be characters that we will thoroughly investigate throughout the the spoiler section of this review. But before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that we're going to go through some of the characters you may not know about, their original appearances, how some things have changed, and I'm also going to be talking about a character I actually am not familiar with because she's a newer character in the comic books. So my background is based on Google. Well, sometimes other stuff are based on Google too, but this one was really a lot of Google. I didn't have anything to work off of. I had to just look it up. But either way, this movie's phenomenal. Go watch it. Do not even watch my spoiler section. Honestly, just stop right now and go see the movie, then come back and watch this. And if you're not going to watch the movie, then definitely, yes, watch the spoiler section. Tell me what you thought of my feelings and, thoughts of this fantastic movie. And with that being said, I definitely want to go ahead and get into the spoiler section. So this is your spoiler, I repeat, spoiler alert. Should I put it on there? Oh yeah, there you go. Spoiler alert. Spoilers are coming, and I'm about to dose them out, and I don't want you guys getting spoiled. Actually, this is the one time I will say, please go away if you haven't watched the movie. I'm giving you enough time. I'm literally giving enough time. If you're like watching this in the background and you're in the halfway around the room, you're like, oh my God, no, I don't want to hear anything. Run now to your computer. Stop it now, because at 3, 2, 1. Now that we got spoilers out of the way, I want to address some of the stuff when it comes to the characters. So, first and foremost, let's go over the major character that we were excited to see finally come to the MCU, and that's Namor the Submariner. Namor the Submariner is a mutant. Yes, they actually say it in the movie, mutant. Now, Namor actually first appeared in Marvel Comics #1, which was actually like an anthology of different characters. Human Torch, I think Doctor Strange was in that issue, Namor, of course. And actually, Namor as actually and see, the funny thing is they switch in the story in the movie, so understand this. They switch this. The father was the human, and the mother was not a human, and they end up having a child, which is Namor, and he becomes somewhat of a mutant, or is a mutant, what am I saying, that actually ends up having some roles with other characters that you actually see in this movie that are going to come back into play later on, which means I think Namor is going to get his own solo movie, probably called Namor the Submariner, and it's going to be all about him and his culture, which would be amazing. But that also brings me to the point of another thing we're going to miss, which is the relationship between T'Challa and Namor. So for those unaware, T'Challa and Namor actually have a rivalry over a love of Storm, aka Aurora Monroe from X-Men. So this is something that we're not going to get now because they decided to kill off the T'Challa thing, which they didn't really kill off, but I mean, I'm saying you really don't want it because I feel like Chadwick Boseman and someone that would play Storm would really have great chemistry, but we're not going to have that. Which also brings me to another character they brought in, which is Riri, aka Ironheart. Now, this is the one I don't know anything about. All I know is she first appeared in Invincible Iron Man Volume 3, number 7, and I know she had a part in the Civil War comics, but that was the reprinted Civil War comics that she came out on. But basically, she takes on the moniker of Iron Man with his machines, and she's very intelligent, which they do good in this movie. But instead, she's called Ironheart. Now, in this movie, they never actually outright call her Ironheart, but you can clearly see it in this movie with the Iron Man references or the Iron Man suit in general, and they even call it out. Look, it's Iron Man. Next, we have Namor and Atuma. So, if you remember, there was 2 troops that Namor said right in front of when he's on his throne. He said Namor and Atuma. There's a relationship between. Okay, so Namor is actually Namor's cousin. And when did she first appear? She first appeared in Marvel Mystery Comics #82, and of course, Atuma first appeared in Fantastic Four #33. He's a barbarian warlord. She's the daughter of an Atlantean man and a surface woman, basically just like the relationship what would happen with Namor, but it's switched now. It's the mother is the human. Again, same situation. Now, getting out of the characters themselves, I want to talk about some of the stuff that we have here. For example, if you remember in the last movie at the end, T'Challa says he's making a Wakanda outreach center, was right in the middle of that area. And so, boom, they actually do it, but they put it in a lot of places. The one you see in the movie, though, is not the original one he built. I think the one that, what's her name, is... I think they're the one that they actually showed towards the end was the one that, not towards the end, but I can't remember exactly when, but there is one point I think we actually see it. Valentine DeFontaine, played by Elaine from Seinfeld, I forgot her name, it was Julie Louis-Dreyfus, finally makes her epic return like she did in other movies with Black Widow. She was also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She is becoming the new Nick Fury of anti-heroes. And Namor is one of those anti-heroes. He's just trying to protect his people. And yes, I freaked out when Namor said he was a mutant. I literally wrote in words, Namor said he is a mutant. And I couldn't even spell is because it was in the movie theaters. But I actually said Namor is a mutant. I was all excited. They actually pointed out. Cool. Which brings me to the other thing, too, that they have here. So, here's the thing. When it comes to Namor, the one thing everyone thinks is Aquaman came first. No. Namor actually came out in 1939. It wasn't until 1941, I think it was, that Aquaman came out. Namor actually was first made. So my problem is they did not use the Atlantean name for Namor because of the whole Aquaman thing. So they gave him a brand new name, which I'm not sure what that name is. They said it, but I've forgotten it already. Talokin. I spelt it, but I don't even know if I can pronounce it right. But my point to the whole thing is this. They didn't use it because of Aquaman, and I honestly, the lost city of Atlantis in the water is available for everyone to use. And I hate that they didn't decide not to use it because Aquaman used it. And that kind of makes me mad. Oh, and they said it. Midnight Angels. Those are the names of Black Panther's bodyguards, but they actually called them the Midnight Angels now. Oh, and Killmonger returns. Now, the last two things I want to bring up is, first off, Ironheart, you have my heart. Because I have a viewer that's not going to like that you are from Chicago, and shout out to the Chicago Bulls in that movie. Huh. No one said Lakers. And then finally we get to the mid-credit scene. Now, of course, we have all the crying from the T'Challa, the memories and everything. Then we see that T'Challa has a son. Now, here's the interesting part. And they didn't do it in this movie because, well, they haven't really set up the multiverse. Unless maybe this might be a way. I don't know. But in the comic books, T'Challa's son is called Azari T'Challa. And guess who his mother is? Storm from the X-Men. No joke. Storm, Aurora Monroe, is the mother to T'Challa's son. And this just brings in a lot of things of, were they going to do this originally if Chadwick Boseman was alive? I honestly don't know. And then, of course, the last but not least thing is, actually, it is maybe least, we didn't get an end credit scene. No joke. The first MCU movie where they don't have anything in the end credits. Actually, I think this happened before as well. But I was surprised in this one. Now, maybe it's because they want to honor Chadwick Boseman. They felt like putting something in there to sneak peek another movie might be a little bit mean or a little bit insensitive. And I agree. Because the mid-credit scene is just his son called T'Challa. So it's definitely still a tribute to bringing T'Challa back, but in a good way through a child. No one will get mad at that. But you bring in an end credit scene with, hey, look at this movie's coming out. Ooh, I think that would have scarred this stuff. And I think that's why we didn't get an end credit scene. So if you're watching my spoilers before you watch the movie, then first off, don't go towards the end of the credits. And second of all, you're stupid. Sorry. I wasn't calling anybody stupid. I'm just saying, go see the movie. It is a fabulous, fabulous ride. And now I've got to edit this video. But, I want to thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure reviewing this. Probably one of my favorite movies to ever review in a long time. And I won't be reviewing a movie for a long time. But I will be doing the Harley Quinn and the Andor reviews I promised I would do. And now we're leading into Thanksgiving, which I'll have a 4-day weekend for that to do some live streaming and hopefully some videos. And I'll also be doing a Black Panther podcast with Johnny Donuts and Campo over at RLG Cast. So make sure you guys check that out as well. But there you guys have it. That is my official review for Black Panther's Wakanda Forever. Is it good? Oh my god, yes. Is it the best MCU movie? No. Is it better than what we've gotten in the last year. Yeah. Like, the only other good thing we got was No Way Home. And since then, things have been a little bit dirt. Horrible. I'm sure one viewer's going to be like, no, what about Multiverse of Madness? I don't take it back. In my eyes, Wakanda Forever is better. Sorry, don't mean to break your heart. But that being said, I am Putty with the G-Pop crew, and you know what we do? Do reviews of fabulous movies that make you tear up too. I miss Chadwick Boseman. I never thought I'd miss an actor, but his portrayal was so good of Black Panther that I just want it back, and unfortunately it's never going to happen. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next review. Peace.